Hi guys, I'm going to give it just like 1 minute and get started because I know it's Sunday night and I don't know if anyone's going to make it on live because I totally wrote this down on my calendar for next Sunday, and so I'm going 12 hours later. I figured since I put 8 a.m., I'd just do 8 p.m. to keep it kind of easy for you guys. But since I'm guessing there won't be a ton of people on, I'm just going to go ahead and get started because I want to honor your time, especially since I am late, or 12 hours late, I guess. But you guys, I'm super jazzed to talk about this topic tonight because it's something I struggled with for a really long time. And so it's something I've put a lot of thought into, and hopefully what I do can work for you. But I want you to remember, it's your business. You're the CEO of your own business. So make sure that, you're taking the tips because we're giving you all of these awesome things. And number one, you're implementing the things that you think are important for your business, because you can become, not you specifically, but people tend to become like PD junkies or like training junkies, and you take all this information, but if you never implement it, then what's really the point of it? So make sure you're taking like little nuggets of information we're giving you that you think is good for you, and implement them to your business. And that's something I'm going to talk about today. So importance of a schedule. If you ever hear yourself saying, I'm overwhelmed, I don't have enough time to do this, I'm spending like 3 hours trying to get my invites done, or this or that means that you don't have a schedule. I know every single time my coaches come to me and tell me they're overwhelmed, I'm like, you don't have a schedule, do you? You're not sticking to a schedule. And they're like, what, a schedule? I'm like, yes. Your life becomes so much easier when you schedule it out. And you guys, I'm not organized. I'm not a scheduled person. And I use that as a crutch for so long. I would always just be like, well, I'm not organized or I'm not scheduled. And so I'd use that like as an excuse all the time. It doesn't matter if you aren't. Like figure out your schedule and use it what works for you. So what I did, and this just like light bulb changed my business for me, is first it started off with just figuring out my why. And we're not going to talk a lot about your why tonight, but that's the first thing I want you guys to make sure you know what that is, and have it written down. My light just went off. Let's see if we can make this brighter. There we go. Have your why written down. A really good way to come up with your why is to answer the question, what would your life look like if money and time wasn't an issue? And come up with something really deep, something that you're like super passionate about, and write that down. And that's important to your schedule because this is kind of like a process that I did. So I wrote down my why. Then based on my why, I created my goals. What are my short-term goals? What are my long-term goals? I'm talking monthly goals, a yearly goal. Where do you want to be in 3 years? What are your goals, especially for this business? Now, based on your goals, that's when you're going to start, I guess your big goals you're going to make, then those weekly and monthly goals. And by that's when you're going to start making an action plan. So I really want you guys to write this out, not just like think about it in your head. I want you to write this out. Write down what your goals are, and then write down what you have to do to get there. So if your goal is to be a diamond coach by, by October 1st, how many people do you need to invite to the coaching opportunity every single day to get there? I want you to have a set number. These action steps aren't just like invite to the coach opportunity or, invite to challenge groups. They have to be a set number for yourself every single day. So I want you to come up with an action plan for every single one of those goals. And a great place to start is looking at your business activity tracker. They give you great action steps in there. I'm going to be honest, as you become more of a leader on the team, you're going to have to add more things into there. So you're creating those action steps that have to do with, what your goals are. And so you're going to have a list of things you need to do daily, things you need to do weekly, and things you need to do monthly. Now you're going to have that all written out because remember, you're writing all these down. And then with that, I want you to order them in list of importance. So what are your business building activities? What are the most important things? Usually that's going to be like checking in with your challenge groups. I personally think that is the most important thing that we do every day because they signed up with you. Please be checking into your challenge groups. That's number one. Inviting to the coach opportunity, inviting to challenge groups, those business building activities. I want you to number them in order of importance. And based off of that, that's how we're going to create a schedule. You are going to create your own business activity tracker. The one they give us is amazing, and I think starting out it's perfect, but as you start growing, there's more things you're doing with your business and more specifics you find yourself doing. So you're going to take those action steps and make it into a business activity tracker for yourself. And then you're going to take your schedule and you're going to schedule them into your day. I have a calendar for myself for every single day. I work in 3 power hours, and I know exactly what I'm going to do in every single one of those power hours. And usually they're done at the same time every day. But if my day switches, I know I have 3 power hours and I know when to put them. But I schedule it. There's a app called 3030. And on there, you can put in your power hours, put in how much time you specifically want to spend on all of those things. And so you can time yourself out and make sure you're not like spending time doing the other stuff. I used to be a really bad Facebook scroller and just time waster, but as soon as you have a set schedule of things you're supposed to be doing, you'll stop doing all those other random things because you've got a schedule that you're sticking to. You know exactly what you need to be doing next. And I'm going to share my schedule with you guys, but you guys have to remember my business is different than your business, so the things that you're going to be doing might be a little different than the things I'm doing. Find those things that are important for your business and put them into your schedule. I also at night, I write down everything I need to get done the next day because there are, those little things that come up you need to add into your schedule. I write them down. I write down my 3 power hours and exactly what I'm going to do during them. It's almost always the same stuff, but then I add in those other little things that you need to do. And then I do that every night so that I'm ready when the next day starts. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing during my power hours. Let's see. And so I will share those with you. I'll share my business activity tracker I made for myself. I'll share my 3 power hours with you and what I do during them. But then I just have this notebook, you guys. Let me show you a typical day. I have this is my nightly notebook, and what I do, and you're not going to be able to read it, is I write down my 3 power hours, and I write down everything I'm going to do, and I just like to cross it off. But my business activity tracker I made for myself is in Excel, and it's a Google Excel sheet, so I can access it from my phone, and I can access it from the computer. Because sometimes you think you're doing a lot of things, and then you realize you're not. 3030, I think. I'll look up exactly what it's called. Actually, I was talking to my corporate mentor, and they're the one who's like, get 3030, and it's super awesome. But I'll get you guys the link for that as well. I think it's just 3030 numbers, but I'll make sure I have that for you. So you're creating your own business activity tracker based on the actions that are going to help you hit your goals. And then my other thing with a calendar is I create an actual calendar every single month. And actually that's something I'm going to be doing this week because we have September coming up. I will show you my last couple months calendar, but I create a calendar for my team. In that calendar, I put when our new Coach Basics is starting. If you're not running a new Coach Basics, that's okay because we run these Ignite trainings. Look in the events tab for the Epic Dream Team and write down what time or when those start and add them to your calendar. I put in there when our free group's going to start. I put in there when they should be doing call to action posts for challenge groups. I just kind of put fun stuff in there too. But the reason I do that is because I want my coaches to know, and I put my team calls, whatever. I want my coaches to know in advance, okay, our free group starts usually the 3rd week of the month. But then that week before, they have a calendar so they know, okay, next week we're having our free group, so I should start inviting to this. I should start posting about it. So nothing comes up and surprises them. They always know when we have something coming up. And that just makes me feel so much better. It makes my team feel so much better. If right now you don't have a team, maybe just make your own little tiny calendar for yourself, being like, okay, I'm going to run a free group with my friends or with some people here. I'm going to make sure I post a call to action once a week, and here's the days I'm going to do it. It's just kind of nice to have a calendar. It's the background on my computer, so every time I turn on my computer, I can be like, okay, what's on the calendar for today? And just fun stuff like that. I know a lot of coaches do that, and I saw they were doing it. My team is so happy I started doing it because then I'm not like a like I said, I'm not an organized person. So I would tell them usually like 3 or 4 days before the free group starts. And my organized coaches were like, what? Why didn't you tell us like in advance? And I'm like, we always do it at the same time. But they need that they need to know when things are starting. So having a calendar for your team so that they can plan for their month as well as yours is really nice. And they can plan for trainings. And we also do like, oh my gosh, there's been so many good trainings in Ignite on sneak peeks. We do a sneak peek every month so that they know when that's going to be. And I have my coaches in there make an event every Saturday for something different. But you guys, I'm going to show this to you, and you're going to want to implement what's best for you. But doing a calendar for your team every month, and even for you just yourself, so that you know what to plan for, is so nice. But yes, so calls to action for today. Hopefully this is helpful, you guys. I'm trying to get through it really quick because I know I normally talk for like 20 minutes, and I feel bad that I take so much time. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to come up with your why. I'm not going to have you share that because I think you guys have already done that, but make sure you're really like deep on that. And based on your why, I want you to come up with your goals. You don't even have to share those either, but you need to do this in order. I want you to write these down. Based on that, this is what I want you to share and what I want you to do. Create your action steps for each goal. What do you have to do every week? What do you have to do every day? What do you have to do every single month? And then I want you to put those into your own business activity tracker. Make your own. Use an Excel. Use whatever makes you happy. Make your own BAT, because that is what's going to figure out your schedule. And then on top of that, I want you to take your BAT and schedule it into your calendar. And I want you to share your calendar with us. My calendar is just, you guys, my calendar is a white piece of paper. Like, I don't even have an actual calendar, but I write out what time I'm doing everything the next day. What time I'm doing my first power hour, what time I'm doing my workout, what time I'm doing my second power hour, what time I'm doing my third power hour. I have it all written out. So you guys, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. There's never any question about what's going to happen. So I want you to share your new BAT that you made. I want you to share your schedule, what time you're scheduling those things with times next to it, whether that's an actual calendar, whether it's a planner, whether it's a piece of paper like I do that you just schedule it in. And I'll take a picture of mine for you guys tonight when I get it done so you can see how it works. And then I want you to create a calendar for September. If you guys, that's a lot to do. So if you don't get the calendar for September done right away, that's okay. But, and you guys, it doesn't have to have a ton of things. Just put like the important dates. I do a lot on mine right now, but it didn't start out that way. Just when you're going to be doing your sneak peeks, when you're going to be doing your free group for that month, and when your next challenge is going to start. If you haven't started in days, mine's ongoing. But yeah, so that'll be really helpful for you, for your team, so you can plan for your next month so nothing just sneaks up on you. But you guys, are so nice being able to talk to you tonight. I hope this is helpful for you guys. I'll find out what that 30/30 app is. I'll just screenshot it for you guys and add it to here. And awesome. Have a good night, guys. Hopefully this is helpful.